Wild Style. The movie featured real-life graffiti artists like Fab5 and Quinones.
It's such a window into a very innocent, sincere time. It's amazing that that film has that kind of elastic energy still to this day.
Today, the film is so ingrained in hip-hop culture that it was recently screened at the Tribeca Film Festival.
It all started a little something like this.
The film was about a much larger look of culture, of teenage culture that had been evolving since the beginning.
What was hard was getting funding, because at this point, it's amazing, as pervasive as hip-hop culture is globally, it wasn't at the time.
I had never made a feature film before, so like everything else, we did things illegally and we did things by the seat of our pants.
You both have mentioned hip-hop. For people who don't understand the correlation between graffiti and hip-hop, how would you break it down?
We should point out that at the time when we were making the movie, there was no, this is what it's called. It was just these things going on. We helped kind of push the fact that it's hip-hop, and because of Wild Style put all of these elements together as one, then that became the perception.
The same year Wild Style was released, so was the documentary Style Wars. It followed several graffiti crews made up of mostly teen boys, showing the dangers they faced for their art and the pushback from those who didn't understand. Among them, a boy known as Des TFA.
They're trying to make it look like graffiti artists break windows and everything. They even like that.
When Des wasn't painting, he'd spend days in the park on turntables, a dedication to the craft that led him to become one of New York City's most popular DJs, DJ K. Slay. Before his death last year, he reunited with Style Wars producer and photographer Henry Chalfont, reminiscing about the early days of hip-hop culture on K. Slay's Shade 45 Street Sweeper radio show.
But one day we wanted to put on t-shirts and break dance, and the next day we wanted to pull out the equipment and DJ in the park, and the next day we might want to go to the train yard and paint. Nobody knew years later it would become a multi-billion-dollar industry like it is.
Once viewed as criminals, many graffiti artists now make considerable money for their work, gaining the attention of major brands. Few are as in demand as Claw Money, but she hasn't forgotten how it all started.
They were really coming down on the transit,
working with brands like Nike and Reebok.
Any form of advertisement today, or illustrations, graphic design, even music videos, every form of medium has been inspired by graffiti.
Did you ever think that graffiti would take you to this point where your art would continue to evolve and eventually you would be at this place where you're at now?
I always knew that it was art. From the minute I started, I just knew that it was my calling at that time. I didn't know where it was going to go. And you just need to be true to your craft and true to yourself. As cliche as that may sound, you're the only one that has to answer to that. And your legacy is a reflection of how you felt going through that process.
aren't they